and welcome back to another Friday reviews, Friday film review. Yay, it's Friday reviews, and today we have one Friday review for the Monday release, which was San Andreas, and of course I picked up the 3D edition. Usually if there is a 3D edition, I will pick up the 3D edition because I love growing my 3D collection. I love watching 3D movies at home, so it's always fun. So of course I watched this one in 3D, and I'd not seen the movie before, but I really like Dwayne Johnson and I enjoy disaster movies, so I was like, yes, it'll be fun, it'll be good. And you know, I didn't really know what to expect from it, but it kind of gave me what I expected, so I guess that's a good thing in some parts. In other parts I did feel like, you know, was a little bit predictable, but I mean, you can't really complain with a movie like this. You expect to get a big disaster, things falling down, things going crazy, people running, you know, it's just insane stuff, and that's what the movie gave you. But it did give you some treats as well, which I did really appreciate. Now briefly I will mention the 3D, and pretty much it's briefly because the 3D wasn't super good. It added to it because some of the, like, you know, wide shots of things that, you know, you can see on the front here, it's not a spoiler, and on the back, you know, buildings crumbling down in San Francisco and other parts of California was just insane and looked incredible. I think the 3D did definitely add to it and added a lot of depth, but there wasn't as much. I felt like there could have been quite a bit of debris coming out, you know, like little flakes of stuff, and, you know, there's a few pop-outy moments, but mostly it was for the depth and to just add a higher impact of what was going on, which I think it did do. I did enjoy watching it in 3D, but I think I'd probably watch this one in 2D if I watched it again. I will actually watch it again. When I do, I'll probably just put it on in 2D, but it's nice to, you know, have had the 3D choice there and to have watched it in 3D for the first time to really, like, and see it, like, on that kind of bigger scale of what was really going on. But basically the storyline is Dwayne Johnson is a fire and rescue man, and he works kind of from a helicopter, and he's, you know, rescues people, and he has a daughter and an ex-wife, and they're kind of settling in with somebody new, and he's kind of a bit unsure about that. And then obviously this massive earthquake hits, and it's giant, and it's like one of the world's biggest they've ever seen, and that guy's in it, oh my gosh, I think his name's, I always forget his name, and I always like him in movies, and I completely always forget his name. There's him and another guy who I get confused and forget their names. Basically the guy who was in this movie, who was the predictor of the earthquakes, was in Parkland as well. I mean, that's not a super popular movie, so not everybody might not know who I mean. And I think his name is Paul Giamatti, but I don't know if it is. That might be the guy who was in Devil Wears Prada. He's actually in a bunch, but I get him and the other guy's names mixed up, so I'm sorry. But that guy who predicts the earthquakes, he was really great, of course, and I really enjoyed kind of seeing that and the behind the works of that and how they figured it all out and stuff. And yeah, there was some fantastic scenes. The first kind of big whoa scene is at Hoover Dam, and it, you know, it really is a big disaster movie, pretty much. This is what you expect, and you get kind of what you're wanting from this movie. You see things just falling apart, and it's just like, wow. I think this would have looked awesome actually in the cinema on a massive screen. But yeah, anyway, so, you know, Dwayne Johnson, his ex-wife is in, I want to say, I don't know, LA? His ex-wife is somewhere in California. I can't think where she is now. And his daughter is in San Francisco. And basically he has to, like, you know, I don't want to ruin it away, but basically, you know, he has to save them, pretty much, you know, obviously. And it's kind of this kind of suspense building about what's going to happen. But then you also have the storyline, which I was surprised about, because I kind of thought it was just going to be Dwayne Johnson saving people, flying around in his helicopter, which he does do, and it does look awesome, and all this stuff. But also, other things happen that I was surprised about that he does. I don't want to ruin, and I thought that was awesome. There were some amazing shots in there because of some of the things that he did. Anyway, and then aside from that, we have his daughter who's in San Francisco and meets up with these two brothers who are from England. That was exciting. Ben and Ollie, and they're really, really sweet. I loved their characters, and as a female character in a disaster movie, I thought she was fantastic, because usually they're a little bit, you know, kind of, I guess they make them a bit ditzy and stuff and not know what to do, and the man would be the hero who she meets, who's Ben. And you see her at the beginning, you know, on the phone to her dad in this big fancy house, sat by the pool, and you kind of think she's going to be one of those girls, and you kind of judge her. They kind of set it up like that, and you know, she's asking her dad, can you bring me this stuff, and da-da. And then she ends up being such a great kind of strong female character, and I loved that. And there's some moments in this movie that really definitely touched me. There were some really sad moments, which is good, because in a disaster movie sometimes you can take things lightly, and things that happen to characters you kind of don't connect with them as much. I felt like I really connected with these characters. So that's why I ended up giving this movie 4.5 stars, because not only was it fun and action-packed and things were falling apart and Dwayne Johnson was awesome and badass and the main female character was great and the strong female character and the two boys she met were really cute and awesome, and the ex-wife in here as well, who's Dwayne Johnson's ex-wife, the mother of the daughter, she was great. And they also had a different kind of backstory going on. There was another story along with them. And you know what, it was just fun. It was a fun movie and it had a bit more depth to it than I was expecting. So overall, I definitely recommend checking this one out. I give it 4.5 stars. I would watch it again. I enjoyed it, and yeah, I wouldn't say it's a must in 3D, but it definitely added a bit to it. But yeah, so until then guys, I'll see you next time. Comment down below if you've seen San Andreas. Thumbs up if you enjoyed Friday reviews. I'll see you then. Goodbye!